So let's give the Boston Bruins credit for a very well-played series where they shut the Capitals down to almost a call.
6 goals they allowed in the 4-game sweep. That's a heck of a record. Mike Milbury is out there now with his charges, and you can tell, I don't know, there's something about this Boston team that you've ever seen togetherness from the coach right through the whole team. This is it. They hold out. They're together, and here they are now in the Stanley Cup final. But I must say, this crowd here at the Cap Center has appreciated what the Capitals have done so far. Something they've never done before, gotten this far. But they were outclassed, outmuscled, out-hustled, outscored by the Boston Bruins, who swept the series 4 games to nothing.
Well, when you win 4-0, there's no doubt who the best team was. That showed early in the series. And the Washington Capitals, I'm sure, are sincere when they're congratulating the Bruins. They know better than anybody. They weren't in the class of the Boston Bruins in the semifinals. Boston gets a nice breather before they head into the finals.
We're going to have a presentation of the Prince of Wales Trophy. And here's Ron McLean, right down there.
Thank you very much, Bob. Andy Moog, the star of the playoffs, really, for Boston. Andy, how do you feel?
Unbelievable. It's a great feeling to go back to the Cup, and we got the team that's playing at their best right now, so we're just hoping for the best. Guys really earned it tonight. It was an unbelievable game. You know, Washington had very few chances to score, and such a team effort defensively tonight. It was unbelievable.
And that really held up through the series. Is that why you think you were so dominant?
I think that's something we start on. We can win games other ways, but we try and win games defensively first, and we did an unbelievable job tonight. We just didn't give them nothing. I mean, it was unbelievable the way they checked in front of me. There just no second chances. There was just no tip-ins or screens. It was something else.
Now, 1988, you were part of the final, of course, but that was such a crazy year for you with the Olympics and everything else. You feel more a part of it this time around?
Crazy but fun. Yeah. Always nice to go to the final. Yeah, you know, it's been 3 years now. I feel like I'm a Bruin. To tell you the truth, I felt like I'm a Bruin all my whole life. It's been here. It's been so much fun here, but we're happy going back. It's going to be great.
Congratulations on all that you've done for the viewer and, of course, for the hockey people with your play in this series, Andy.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks very much.
Andy Moog. Hey, Cam, before you get away, Cam Neely's gone that way. Ray, if I could get a word with you. Sorry to be yelling at you. Go ahead. What do you think about why you dominated this series?
Well, I think really team effort all the way. We've been playing great defense all year long. We won the Jennings. Our goalie has just been super all year, and you know that's the way we won this series, really by playing good, strong defense in our end and making the best of our chances.
Do you think you've been underrated as a team?
Well, it seems like every team we've played should have beat us, and I mean that says something for us. But you know, I think we'll start getting some respect.
And the Capitals really tried to drive it. I know you want to get to the Prince of Wales presentation. The Caps wanted to key on you, much like teams have done in the past, a great defenseman. How was it for you?
Well, it was great. I mean, first game we had a couple of giveaways, but after that, you know, we were playing with the lead for most of the series. So all I was doing is really making sure I was taking care of my own end and playing strong there.
Another terrific job and another rest. Are you worried about that layoff?
No, not at all. I mean, we want to end this as fast as we can, this series. We didn't want to go any further. Now we got to deal with the rest, and some bumps and bruises are going to heal.
Okay, go get that Wales trophy. Ray Bourque, captain of the Boston Bruins. Bob and Harry, I'll send it up to you for a moment and grab some more people down here.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Well, the scoring in the game, it was no doubt the Bruins wanted the first one because they're great ahead. They've demonstrated that throughout the playoffs, and they got it very early at 53 seconds when Carter scored from Carpenter, and then Neely from Hogwood and Janney on a power play. And it was Boston all the way from there. Kiprios got him close. Neely opened up a 2-goal spread in the third, and then Hunter gave the Caps a little life, and that's about all it was, Harry. A little life. Not many shots in this hockey game, indicative of the type of play the Bruins create in this series against Washington. The shot 17-14 in favor of Boston.
Well, the neutral zone was non-existent to the Washington Capitals. Boston forced them to shoot it in and then beat them to the shoot-in all night long. And Washington on the rush was not dangerous at all. And on the forecheck, they had some good hits, but they couldn't cause any panic in the Boston zone, even though sometimes the forechecking was heavy. And the Bruins played a textbook perfect defensive series, and in the playoffs, defense will always win for you.
Yes, they did. And congratulations to the Boston Bruins. We'll see what's next for you. Winning this game tonight, Boston 3 and the Capitals 2. A Boston sweep. And in just a moment, our Molson 3-star selection. Stars. The number 1 star was Cam Neely with 2 goals and another strong performance from the big winger. Andy Moog, speaking of strong performances, steady as a rock again tonight was star number 2, and a workhorse for the Capitals. It just wasn't enough for Washington, number 3 star, Scott Stevens. Let's go down now to meet Harry Sinden, who's with Ron McLean.
Thank you very much, Bob. GM President Harry Sinden, a long day for you, but not long enough, I'm sure, to savor all that's going on.
Well, I'll tell you, this is fun. This is what it's all about, and I'm proud of this team. They've played well, and they've established themselves a pretty good hockey team, and I'm really grateful to them, because they really weren't looked upon to win our division or this conference when they began, and I'm grateful that they felt they were, and they worked hard at it all year. And these are all cliches, but I mean, that's really what does happen when a team wins a championship.
Can you pick out individual performers that you think were in part responsible for all of this?
Well, that would be somewhat unfair, because this is a team that they've asked me to compare with some of the great Bruin teams of the past, and this is a team that really has to get it from everybody. We don't have 2 or 3 people who can win it for us. We have star players, don't get me wrong, but unless we have everybody throwing in their 2 cents worth, we really can't beat anybody. And we generally get everybody throwing it in, so I wouldn't pick anybody out.
You came from so far back when you came to 1970 and won that Stanley Cup. That, for a Boston fan, was a real big moment. But for you as a Bruin, as a general manager, with the trades, with the signing of Mike Milbury, do you feel a real sense of gratification here?
I feel awful good about this team, because they've known from the beginning that they had to play within their limitations, and that, you know, teams like Calgary and Edmonton and Montreal might have possessed something they didn't have, but they could overcome it. And they've thrived on that thinking and that philosophy, and for that I give Mike and the players credit.
Well, and you deserve plenty too, Harry. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Harry Sinden. Now I'm just going to move back here so that Cam doesn't ruin his skates. If you follow me around, he'll stay on the mat. The star of Coach's Corner here this evening with Lyndon Byers. You didn't do bad on the ice tonight, Cam, either. Congratulations. How do you feel about this?
I feel great. You know, some of us have been here before, and you know, it's a great feeling, but I think a lot of us were satisfied with doing this last couple years. It's something that you know, we set a goal for ourselves this year to win the Stanley Cup, so it's certainly a great feeling, but we still got another step to go.
It really seems as though the Bruins were put to the ultimate test of patience in this series by Dale Hunter and your good buddy Craig Janney, who took a lot of shots. How did you maintain the discipline?
Well, it's something that we've worked on all year, and it's worked for us. Our power play was you know, one of the best in the league this year, and it's won us a lot of hockey games playing with composure and playing with discipline. And we figured we could keep on doing that at playoffs. We knew they'd be coming at us a little harder and with a little more stuff, and you know, we had to be a lot more stronger as far as our discipline was concerned, and we won some hockey games with their power play, and you know, that's how it was a little bit easier for us to take it.
What about home ice advantage? First, the layoff. Are you worried about the 7 days, because it looks as if the Cup final can't begin earlier than next Wednesday, but you do start in your building?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great to start at home. I think that's helped us a lot, you know, this whole playoffs, and I don't think the layoff's going to bother us too much. I mean, we need a little bit of rest. Something we want to do. We wanted to wrap it up tonight so we can get some rest, and you know, we're anxious to get started.
Nicely done. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Cam Neely, assistant captain of the Boston Bruins, celebrates this evening's Prince of Wales Championship as Boston heads to the Stanley Cup. For the 17th time in its history, 5 of those have resulted in Stanley Cups. Of course, it'll be the second appearance in the last 3 years. Stand by for more on Molson Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC. The Boston Bruins win 3-2 here at the Cap Center in Landover to clinch the series in 4 straight games. Boston required 7 to get by Hartford, but now get to the Stanley Cup final in 9 games. And there is the presentation of the Prince of Wales Championship Trophy to the Boston Bruins ensemble. Ray Bourque accepts from legal counsel Gil Stein. And Don?
Well, the best team won. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of people are surprised at the sweep. I don't think Washington should feel ashamed. I thought they played pretty good. It was a lot of 1 goals, and with Cicerelli out and Hatcher out, it'd be the same thing as Bork and Neely were out. So they did pretty good, but they were not going to win. I'm glad they didn't win. All they do this last game prolong the agony.
It really is sad for those who didn't get to see the Washington Capitals play against the Rangers and the Devils, because they were a far different team in the first 2 rounds.
Well, a big thing about the Bruins, too, is Harry said it upstairs, and Harry Sinden said it. They never quit, and I've said it, in the corners, bang. You should go out there and stand by the boards. It's something to behold. They claw and grab, and they never quit. And I think Edmonton's going to have a tough time against them. Any team's going to have a tough time because they're going to open up in the Boston Garden. Moog, I mean, you know, not a bad, 1 bad goal so far in the playoffs. It's going to be brutal to score against this guy. And what the Bruins do very good is when you get the shot at the point, everybody goes for the front of the net. You can never get it through. You want to go to the side, okay, but you'll never get it through.
There was some bad news this evening, of course, in that Bob Beers sustained that broken bone over his right knee, and we're not sure how Gary Galley's leg is. He's playing with a brace that was designed in Boston and really worked for him, but by and large, they do have time to rest. They came into this series, I thought, in the first 2 periods against Washington a little slow. How can they combat that?
Well, don't worry about Mike getting them going. There's to be no problem about that. Going in, maybe in the semifinals, maybe something like that, you could be a little lax. But you need no motivation at all to get ready for the finals. Don't worry, everybody will be ready for that one.
What could you possibly do to try and beat Boston?
I don't know what you can do. I think no sense in hitting them, because the harder you hit them, the harder they come back. I don't know what you can do. Try to keep away from the penalties, because their power play kills you. They get in front of the net. And Cam Neely, that pass by Prop, I mean, Prop's not one of my favorite guys. You know, he wears the shield in Philly and all that stuff. But what a pass in his knees, backhand across the front. It looks like a team of destiny. It looks like they cannot lose. Every time you get near to them, they'll pop in a goal on you. They're a tough team. They're tough in the sense that they don't fight and everything like that, but they're always there. They block shots. There's no guys pulling the flamingo out there, I'll tell you that.
It's almost as though you've been looking for a reason to find something wrong with Boston, and that just does not exist. Briefly looking ahead to tomorrow night, the Hawks and the Oilers, what do you see happening from here in that series?
Well, they've got to get some more shots. Edmonton's got to get some more shots, and again, never count out Keenan. I mean, he's playing Russian roulette with those goalies, and it's backfired on the last time, but never count him out. That's a great series. Are we going out there?
Yeah, eventually, I think to Chicago. Good. The winner of that one gets to meet Boston, and I know you'll love kicking off the Stanley Cup final at the Garden. So the final score tonight, 3-2. The Bruins win the series 4-0. Back to wrap on Molson Hockey Night in Canada after this. His name is spelled with an M at the beginning for good and a G at the end for G's terrific. And in between those O's of Andy Moog. The Moog train leads the Boston Bruins to another win here this evening. What a great story Boston has provided, winning the President's Trophy, and now the Prince of Wales as they go back to the Stanley Cup final for the 2nd time in 3 years. But it's a whole different complexion in this team. As Don said, Prop's here, Poulin's here. The Philadelphia connection was undeniably a story. As for Washington, what's in store from John Druce? 14 goals in these Stanley Cup playoffs. He was a tremendous story for that club. So the final 3-2 tomorrow evening will bring you Game 5 of the Clarence Campbell Conference Championships. Chicago at Edmonton, 9:30 Eastern for that one. Boston wins here. They'll await the winner of that series there. On behalf of all of us, thanks for watching this evening from Washington, and good night.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Molson Export. Nothing halfway about it. X says it all. By Esso, makers of high-performance Esso Supreme gasoline. And by Pepsi. It's got what it takes.
The head of TV Network Sports is Alan Clark.